What's going on there, YouTube? I just recently replaced this power divider and I didn't take a video of it, so I'm fixing to snatch it back out because this bearing, I mean, it looks good, but my yoke has a lot of play and it's making it vibrate around 60, 65. Whenever you let off the accelerator, it'll vibrate, or like if you're going down a hill, it'll vibrate real fast. So I got this socket. This is an Eaton front rear, and it was a 2.5 inch socket that took that yoke nut off. Now it had to have some persuasion to get it off, and I used that big 1-inch gun that I use to take my tires off with, and I went to Harbor Freight and got that reducer to reduce down to a 3/4, because that's what this socket is. So we're going to see, I'm going to pull this power divider out. All this stuff comes loose whenever you pull this power divider off, but it slides. It should be about right there, and whenever I have the yoke and have this piece on here, it'll still slide in and out a little bit, and it moves up and down probably 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to take these bolts back out all the way around the bottom and up through there. We're going to take this power divider off. I'm going to take this hose off, and we'll see if we can figure out why it's loose. Go ahead. Okay, that's the last one. Alright, this it's been a little bit of a pain because this cross member right here is in the way, and I can't get down behind straight down. So I'm trying to, once I get it going, it'll go. You got 2 pins, one right here and one over here on the bottom, and that's what's holding it on so tight. So if I can ever get it moving, I can get it off. Permatex. Okay, I think this is where my play is. That's how much it was sliding whenever I had it in. Because see, this gear is brand new. I just put it in there. And there's 2 washers behind this gear. So I'm going to see if maybe I forgot to put them in, or maybe if that's what will tighten this up. Because it's when it's sliding like that, it's making this bearing on this side loose. There's the 2 washers. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Okay, folks. This is what I decided. These 2 washers come back here. And I'm not sure. That's the way they came off. That's the way I put them back. And then this gear slides on. So, what I'm going to do is I had a spare washer that I took off. Because when I rebuilt this power divider, I had, he gave me 2 new washers. So I'm going to try to put this second one on here and see if that, and put that on there, and maybe that will tighten up this bearing. That's what I'm going to try. If it don't work and all else fails, it'll just, I'll have to buy another rear end if it comes apart. And probably a wrecker bill too. But we're going to try it and see. Okay, one more thing before I put this back together. You have to make sure, see, this is round, and then you have a flat spot right here, and the flat spot goes right here. So you don't want to put it on here turned and then it don't go all the way. So see how when it gets to that flat spot, it slides up on there, and then you put these 2 washers on. But I'm gonna clean all this stuff up and put these 2 back on here and put this gear back, and I'll put this. I was kind of worried that I had this washer and it was going to make it to where I couldn't get this back on, but I believe it will. And we're going to try that, and maybe that'll tighten it up, because that vibrating, I really don't like that vibrating. It's a real fast vibrating. That's how a lot of times you can tell it's a dry shaft. It's because it will vibrate really fast. And mine's doing it whenever you let off of the accelerator, and sometimes when you mash back on it. So if you're going down a hill and you barely and you let off, it's just kind of steady vibrating, and that vibration will eventually throw something apart. Oh, you son of a... Okay. Okay. This on this Eaton is a little bit different than the Rockwell that I had, and it's better to try to put this power rider back on with the spider gear already. It's loose up here, but I can't. When you try to put it on there, if you slide it on here first, it won't go past here. So it's better to put it up in there like that first. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this on. Okay. Okay. All right, you got some short bolts and some long bolts. And what I'll do is I'll get these down till it's snug, let it dry for about an hour, is what that Permatex says, and then come back and tighten them down. It'll be alright. I didn't want to tighten it down that much. I'll go ahead and put the rest of my bolts on. Okay, I'll let that dry for a minute, and in the meantime, I'm going to put this back on and see if it's going to be loose again. But I'm going to have to clean this up first. Okay, on this right here, you want to make sure that, see, there's an oil galley there to feed this bearing, and the holes right here, so you want to make sure when you put it back that it goes on that side. And what I like to do is get it like there and stick a bolt, because you got to kind of beat this thing on. And make sure it's lined up. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a minute. I think that solved my problem with the looseness. See, normally behind this piece on I know one on Rockwell. I don't know about Eaton because mine never had any. But they would be shims, metal shims behind here where you can adjust it, take some out if you want to tighten it up, and add some shims if you need to loosen it, because you don't want that bearing too tight. But that seems like that's just right. So maybe that washer helped. But before it was flapping pretty good. But I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up these bolts, tighten the rest of the way, and put this yoke back on. Okay, I think we're good on that now. I think that eliminated most of the, it still got a little tiny bit of play, but nothing like it was. So we're gonna try that and see what she'll do.